Many consider Terence Crawford nearly unbeatable. But when it comes to a fight with Canelo Alvarez, opinions become divided. Shawn Porter has raised concerns, believing Crawford could face one of the toughest challenges of his career.
Say like, no, that's 2 more weight classes. Like once he gets touched by Canelo, it's going to be different.
I am concerned about him absorbing a Canelo punch, especially through the course of 12 rounds. We do know this about Canelo. He's going to slow down. So I think if anything, Canelo would try to start fast and bang on him and break him down before he gets later, and he's still got that kind of steam.
Porter's breakdown highlights a key factor: size and power. He believes Canelo's punches are not just heavy, they can completely change a fight. If Crawford struggles with Canelo's early pressure, surviving all 12 rounds could become extremely difficult. With Canelo likely aiming to apply pressure early, the challenge only grows tougher. Edgar Berlanga also weighed in on the matchup, backing Canelo and believing the Mexican star has the edge. What do you think
of that fight?
I truly believe, that anything can happen in boxing. You know what I'm saying? And Terence Crawford is a legend. He's great. He's a great fighter. The only thing I see that I favor Canelo is that his weight.
Berlanga highlighted a major concern for Crawford: size and physicality. Canelo is naturally bigger and stronger, giving him a clear advantage in power and ring presence. Coach Joel Diaz also weighed in, questioning the idea that Crawford can easily handle Canelo and making his stance on the matchup very clear.
Crawford, millions of dollars, great, but don't try to come and try to fool me, telling me that Crawford can beat Canelo. There is no way. There is no way that Crawford can beat.
Joel Diaz believes the concern is about reality, not hype. He feels Canelo's size, experience, and ability to fight naturally bigger opponents give him a major edge over Terence Crawford. Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn suggested that despite the excitement around the matchup, Canelo may not be fully motivated to take the fight.
I think it's a fight Canelo really wants, if I'm honest, because I think he feels like he won't get a lot of credit beating a light.
Hearn pointed out the reality of boxing expectations, saying that even if Canelo dominates Crawford, critics could still downplay the win by arguing that Crawford is naturally too small for the matchup. He suggested Canelo may see it the same way.
Everybody wants to fight me. Everybody calling me out and everything. And like I say, I have nothing to win with Crawford. 2-3 weights class less than.
Still, many believe Canelo would come in looking to dominate from the opening bell. For Crawford, the challenge is not only dealing with the size difference, but also proving he belongs against an experienced powerhouse like Canelo. Teofimo Lopez also weighed in, saying Canelo's physical strength and experience could be major factors in the fight.
Or stoppage if they fight in May, Canelo and Crawford.
Decision or...
And why does Canelo beat him, before you get out of it?
Listen, we can have the skills and everything, but jumping that much like that, jumping like that much, getting hit, I don't think Crawford's ever fought a fighter that's hit him directly, just straight, constantly in the arms. And it's not because they can't, they don't think that way.
Appreciate you.
Gotta clear it out, guys. Remember, this man's been pro since what, 14?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
15.
Yeah. Doesn't make a big difference.
Lopez pointed to a key concern for Crawford, saying he has never truly faced a fighter who brings relentless pressure and consistently lands punishing shots throughout a fight. Canelo's strategy of wearing opponents down with body and arm shots can become a serious problem, especially for smaller fighters. With Canelo's elite experience and power, Lopez believes Crawford's defense could be pushed to its limits. He didn't stop there and went on to make a bold prediction.
What round does Crawford get knocked out? I'm gonna put 8. Let's put it on the universe. So I'm gonna put it on 8. ate. And if it goes the other way, I ate. You know, I ate. So yeah, Ryan, Joe, and Eddie Reynoso also. That'd be cool, man. We all get work. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have our own underground boxing, me and Ryan, before we fight.
That's a strong statement. But Lopez still believes Canelo's power and experience would be too much for Crawford. Danny Garcia, a former world champion, also cautioned Crawford about stepping into the ring with Canelo.
You know, at the end of the day, they're two great pound-for-pound fighters, and if they feel like, you know, it makes sense and they want to fight each other, stylistically, it's a great fight. But, you know, Canelo, he's a big dude. So I think it'd be hard for anyone to beat him at 168. But, you know, it's definitely a big money fight, and that's why we're all in boxing, in order to make the biggest fight.
Garcia's warning highlights a harsh reality. Canelo's dominance at 168 pounds is a major challenge for any fighter, even someone as skilled as Crawford. While it's seen as a legacy-defining matchup, the physical gap could be too difficult to overcome. Keith Thurman also weighed in, saying that while he understands what it takes to win big fights, the Canelo versus Crawford matchup would require everything to go perfectly for Crawford to have a real chance.
Impossible for my boy Crawford, but it's one of those things where if he really wants to win against Canelo, he's going to need to do everything. You know, you're going to need to run uphill. You're going to need to train in high altitude. You're going to need to do every little thing that gives you that, you know, athletic edge, and lots of pre-fight meditate. You know, you got to see victory before the victory manifests.
Thurman explained that Crawford would need more than skill to win. He would have to push himself to the absolute limit physically and mentally. He added that Canelo's size, power, and experience at higher weights make the challenge extremely difficult. Roy Jones Jr. also weighed in, saying the key isn't just size, but Canelo's ability to control the pace and take over fights from the opening bell.
The factor will be how Canelo chooses to make the fight. Canelo comes out and does what Canelo should do, Canelo wins the fight. Canelo comes out and does what he shouldn't do, Crawford wins.
Jones said Canelo's approach will decide the fight. If he uses his pressure and power, Crawford could be overwhelmed. But if Canelo overcomplicates things, Crawford's timing and adaptability could open a window. Chino Rivas also weighed in, saying Crawford faces serious risks, both physically and stylistically, if he steps in with Canelo.
Canelo's just too big, and he's just a different animal. You know, leave the Canelo for the big boys like the David Benavidez, the Morel, you know, all the others, you know, coming in that weight class. People, and Crawford smart enough to understand, you know, even though it's a payday, just leave that alone. I mean, unless they talk about that, they guarantee him $15 million, well, you know, and then you know, it's a business aspect as well. But other than that, I think he shouldn't. I prefer to see him fight Charlo at 54 instead of.
Rivas warned that Crawford would face a major challenge against Canelo at 168, saying it's not just about money, but survival. He suggested a fight at 154, like against Charlo, would be more manageable, while a Canelo showdown could carry serious risk. Kyron Davis, who has trained with both fighters, also said Canelo's size and power would make it a very difficult fight for Crawford despite his skill.
You know, everybody knows that Crawford got the skills. I do think that Canelo's a little big. He's a little big for Crawford. And it'll be a tall task for him to win. It'll be a lot you have to. It'll be a lot to get that victory based on, you know, size alone. Not that size wins fights, but you got a guy that got size and skill. It'll be hard. I mean, nothing's impossible. But if I had my money on somebody winning the fight, it'll be Canelo Alvarez, even though Terence Crawford is a great.
Davis respects Crawford's skill, but believes Canelo's size and power at 168 would be too much, saying he backs the fighter who can impose himself physically, Canelo. Robert Garcia also broke down the matchup, saying it's not just about talent, but the tactical factors that could give Canelo the edge.
What's a smart bet on Crawford-Canelo? Canelo by knockout or Canelo by decision?
Crawford by decision.
And you have to bet?
Yes.
I say Canelo by decision. I've always been saying, you know, I think Canelo at the end, you know, obviously his strength, his weight,
experience.
Garcia believes Canelo's size, strength, and pressure could overwhelm Crawford over 12 rounds, making him the likely winner even without a knockout. Stephen A. Smith also noted that while Crawford has the skill, Canelo's power could be the deciding factor in the matchup.
is that he won't hurt Canelo. And if he doesn't hurt Canelo and can't hurt Canelo, then Canelo keeps coming. Similar to how he stalked Charlo, how he stalked, once he had Plant hurt, he chased after him. Canelo is a very powerful individual who can get exposed by a boxer because every shot he throws, he's trying to make it a power shot. But to me, can Crawford hurt him? I would pick Crawford to win if he can box and stay away. I don't believe he can hurt Canelo. And if Canelo catches him, it could be trouble.
Smith said Crawford's skills may not be enough if he can't keep Canelo off him, warning that Canelo's pressure and power could become overwhelming once he senses weakness. He believes it could end badly if Canelo lands clean shots. Ryan Garcia also weighed in, saying while both fighters are highly skilled, Canelo's size and strength give him a clear advantage in the matchup.
What about Canelo and Crawford? What do you think?
That's going to be a great fight too. I can't believe they made that happen. Turkey's been making a lot of great fights happen. You can't really hate on it. But I'm excited for that. I know Canelo is so big, so strong, and I think he'll be just too big. I mean, weight classes matter for him.
Garcia believes the key factor is size and strength, saying Canelo's physicality could be too much for Crawford despite his skill. He still sees Canelo as the clear favorite due to his power advantage. Adonis Wilkins also pointed out the weight jump to 168 as a major issue, saying Crawford's skills could be neutralized by Canelo's size and physical strength.
If the paperwork gets signed up and finished, if Crawford can get him to come down some weight,
no, it's gonna be at 68.
That's a bad look for Crawford. I love Crawford, dog. I think he's real talented, but we see him at 154 going up in weight class, and he kind of struggled. He didn't struggle, but that weight was definitely a difference. To go up another 2 weight classes after that, we're gonna see a lot slower Terence Crawford. Yeah, his boxing ability is there, but Crawford don't hit like Canelo. Canelo's coming down for that fight. It's gonna be.
Wilkins said Crawford would struggle at 168, noting that Canelo's size, power, and aggression could overwhelm his skills and lead to a clear Canelo victory. Dennis Thompson Jr. also believes Canelo's experience at higher weights gives him a major edge in power, stamina, and overall physicality against Crawford.
I think coming up September, we got Canelo Alvarez, we got Terence Crawford.
Right.
What's your thoughts?
I think I take Canelo. I feel like I ain't really like Bud performance when he moved up the first time, and I feel like Canelo might end up breaking him down. The difference is, well, we fighting bigger guys. Yeah. They be much stronger and too, they coming down from a higher weight originally. So it'd be that. They punches be a little stronger, and you moving up, you might feel a little sluggish. You might not be at your same speed and stuff like that. You might be a little off.
Thompson said Canelo's success in higher weight classes shows his ability to impose physical pressure, suggesting Crawford could struggle to maintain speed and skill over the rounds and may be worn down by Canelo's power. Showbiz the Adult also pointed to the weight and size difference, saying Canelo's physical advantage is a key factor in the matchup.
Crawford fans, I've been trying to say this, dog. Canelo at 168 is all wrong for Crawford, dog. He ain't gonna do what he did. He's gonna absorb Crawford's shots, he's gonna catch and shoot, and he's gonna rip some shit. He's gonna cut off the ring, he's gonna even counter. He got faster hands than you expect. Canelo hands faster than Madrimov. Brother, you think he was strong at 150, and Madrimov was strong at 154. Canelo at 160 is diabolical.
Experts say Crawford's speed and movement may not be effective against Canelo's strength, ring control, and ability to cut off the ring at 168. They believe Canelo's power and experience could take over, especially in the later rounds. Overall, many trainers and former champions feel Crawford faces a major physical disadvantage, even if his skill and adaptability keep him competitive. The question remains whether he can overcome the odds or if Canelo's dominance at higher weights will prove too much.